Patreon supporters got to see previews, work-in-progress shots, and high-resolution images of the completed figure. They also get minifigures every time they donate up to $10. If you want to join them, even the smallest amount helps. Link is in the description below. Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a commission for Fur Affinity's Soulthemysterious. It is his character Soul, who I'm assuming is an OC like mine. Now, it would be easy to say that the base figure is Shadow, but it's a little more complicated than that. We'll get into that later. Let's start with the modifications to the head. I just have to turn the center two spines upwards because, as you can see, Soul has all of his spines upwards, not just the outer ones, and sculpt on a whole bunch of extra stuff, such as his big floofy ears, and things like his sideburns, his bangs, and two extra spines coming out the back of his head. These are the only ones that actually curl downwards. So, yeah, quite a heavily sculpted head, all things considered. I also modified the nose to be shorter and gave him a charming little goatee. I don't really know if I made a character that had a goatee before. That was pretty interesting. And he has a pretty interesting color scheme of, blue, white, and black lines around his cheeks and eyes. So, yeah, that was a pretty interesting head there. So the body is also interesting. Let's take a look at that. Now, the torso of this figure is really unique. As you can see, the lower half of it is tails, and the upper half is Shadow's. I needed this because that's the only neck peg that Shadow's head would go back onto, but I needed a wider base to make the clothes and stuff. Normally these two parts don't mesh because, Tails' body is so much wider than anybody else's, but because Soul wears a jacket, I was able to sculpt that into place to hide the mismatched parts. At the sacrifice of a waist joint, but hey, it still looks pretty good. He also has this really long tail. I wanted to say that Soul was a hedgehog, but, hedgehogs don't have tails like this, so I don't know what the heck Soul is. So yeah, the body is painted pretty simply with a big blue tail, and the clothes are mostly black. So all that really leaves are the arms and legs, which, are just relatively simple repaints. Although there are things on the back of the gloves that I sculpted on, and there's this pretty cool little skull motif going on with the shoes. Looks a little bit like a Punisher head, but it's blue. Okay, so with all the parts made, all that's left to do is to put the figure together and see how it came out. I know a lot of Sonic characters have bangs to help differentiate their faces, but I think a lot of the fan characters go a bit overboard because the bangs always come down over the eyes, and on an action figure, it doesn't look as good as it does in the drawing. I mean, at least from the front. From the side, it still looks pretty good, I think, but it's just kind of they don't really translate into 3D as well as I'm sure a lot of people would hope they do. Besides, I should point out that bangs absolutely do not look like this in real life. There is no way you can get your actual hair to do this. At least not without using, without using polymer cement as hair gel. I don't think it's possible to sculpt your hair into shapes like that. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of ranted all about bangs and stuff because, this character has a very large and prominent set of them. And it's a very common fan character trait. But, yep, that's Soulthemysterious. I hope you guys liked him. I think he's a pretty unique one. And, yep, there are more fan characters set up, although there is going to be at least one more official one, so, just in case you don't like fan characters, we're not going to be stuck with that for the rest of the month. This is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.